Hey everyone, this is DHTV and today I've got an in-depth tutorial on how to use the iPhone 5, 5C, and 5S camera app using iOS 7. Let's get started. Alright, so using the iPhone 5S camera is the same as you would use the iPhone 5 or iPhone 5C camera with a few different features, which I'll get into and let you guys know which are available on which phones. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the iPhone 5S camera first. And basically launching the camera, we'll start with basics here. So launching the camera from the lock screen at the bottom right, you just swipe upwards and it'll open up the camera app for you. Once you are inside your home screen here, you can actually access the camera app from the control center at the bottom right as well, just by tapping on that little app. Or you can just use the camera app itself, just tap it and it'll open up the application for you. So those of you who are new to the iPhone or iOS 7, you'll notice the camera app has changed, or you'll notice that it's got quite a bit going on. And first off, let's get started with the basic photos. So if you want to just take a photo of something, what you would do. So first off, you want to make sure that you're focused. So you just tap on the specific area of the screen that you want to focus on. So if you wanted to focus on the tail of this helicopter, it would go ahead and focus on that. And then you just hit this right here and it'll go ahead and take your picture. Now, anytime you take a picture or a video, you'll be able to access it just by tapping at the bottom right. And when you take a picture, you can actually edit it. You've got a cropping feature here, so if you want to cut out some of the edges, you can do so. You've got the red eye removal ability right here, which we don't have in this particular picture. You've got filters, which you can add to the photo, just like you would if you were using Instagram. You've also got an automatic enhancement feature here, and it'll just give you a better picture and automatically enhance it. And then you've got a flipping ability here, which will change it around. If you have to move it around, or if you want to make it look sideways or something like that, you can do so as well. And then when you go ahead and save it, it'll be saved to your photo stream. And again, just removing all of these edits, you just go back and you can actually take the crop right back out. You can remove the auto enhance and all that. So you just have to do it manually that way to make it go back to its original state. So back to the photo section here. If you ever want to take a wide angled photo, all you do is turn the phone like this. Now I see a lot of people, they hold the phone like this and they think that this is the right way because the camera is at the top left. It's actually wrong, because this will end up with an upside down picture when you load it onto your computer. Not that big a deal, but if you don't know how to flip it back on your computer, it can be quite annoying. So hold it this way. The camera should be at the bottom right, and you should have the buttons up top. And once again, you want to just tap to focus, and then you want to go ahead and press on the plus volume rocker, and that'll take your picture. Now, if you ever need to zoom in on a particular area of your photo, it's very easy. Just like in Safari, you pinch outwards to zoom in, pinch inwards to zoom out. And once you start zooming, a little bar will appear over here, and you can actually control that with your finger as well. Once you've reached the desired zoom, you can go ahead and tap to focus and take your picture as normal. Another feature available in the photo section here is the ability to add live filters. So if you're familiar with Instagram, you can actually add these filters after you've taken your photo. With this feature, you can actually see the filter while you're taking your photo or before you've taken your photo. This way you can actually see how the filter is going to look with specific angles, with specific zooms, all that stuff. It's a little bit better than having the filter afterwards. But as I showed you in the editing section, once you take your photo, you can actually go to edit and actually see those filters and add them after the fact if you want as well. Moving on, we'll go to the square photo section here. And as you saw, all I did to move between sections is just swipe in the direction and it'll go ahead and keep selecting different sections. So the square section, I use this mainly for Instagram. It allows me to use the iPhone's camera app rather than Instagram's camera feature. And like I said, you have the live filters, which I find a little bit easier to work with than using the after the fact filters with Instagram. So it's the same thing, zooming in and out, it's the same, tapping to focus, and then basically you just take your photo and it'll show up as a square photo. Now let's take a look at the video section, and taking a video is just as easy as it was to take a picture. All you do is just basically tap to focus on the specific area and then go ahead and tap down here and it'll begin taking your video. Now if you ever want to zoom in on a specific area, you can do so live within your video. So if you want to zoom in and zoom out and make things look really professional in that way, you can. And if you ever want to take a picture while you're actually taking the video, you just press down here and it'll go ahead and take a picture. Now, if you ever take a video and you want to take it in wide angle, again, you hold the camera this way, making sure the buttons are up top. Just tap to focus and then go ahead and tap that button or the plus button, and it'll go ahead and start taking your video. Now let's take a look at the panoramic photo section here. And this is really interesting because it allows you to fit a lot more on your screen than you would otherwise. So you're going to get a nice large panoramic photo. So I've added both my iPhone boxes here as well as the helicopter. So as you can see, if I hold the iPhone like this, I can only see the helicopter. And what we're going to do is grab all of these things in one photo. So what you do is you tap on the pano button at the bottom there, and then you want to follow this line and try to keep it as steady as you can across. So I'm going to do my best here. It's going to be a little bit hard because I am over another camera, but we will try it out. So let's keep it stable all the way across, and it's okay to go slow. You can see I'm going above it, above it. Now I'm going to try to end it. And now if we go to the section here where we can see the photo, you can see it grabbed everything in the photo rather than just the helicopter that we had previously. And you can also see it wide angle there. It does look a little bit choppy, especially up here, and that's because I was shaking while I was trying to close it. But you can get quite good at this, and over time I've done some really amazing pictures, especially if you're outside when you got like a lot of buildings or like a sunset or something. You can really grab a nice picture with this panel feature. So play around with it, definitely. It's pretty cool. Now moving it to the slow-mo feature here, this is going to allow us to take a slow motion picture at 120 frames per second at 720p, and what this is going to do is slow down any movement and really make it look cool in that slow motion effect. So I'm going to try my best here and get you guys an awesome picture. So I'm going to hold the camera here and I'm going to slide the iPhone box. I guess I'll slide the iPhone box across and hopefully we can get an awesome slow-mo out of it. So let's go ahead and tap slow-mo. And I'll just shoot it across. Now let's take a look here at the picture and we'll watch it. So you can see it kind of went by slowly. And I'll go ahead and show you a couple of other ones I just took so you can see that it does actually work pretty well. So as you saw, the slow-mo camera really does slow down your photos, and if you're creative or have some awesome action shots, you can really get some cool pictures out of it. But what we're going to do now is move back to the photo section, and we're going to select up here where it says auto or on or off, depending on how you have it set. Usually it's set to auto standard, and basically this is your flash. Now on the iPhone 5S specifically, we have a dual flash, and this is called the True Tone Flash, and it's got two LEDs, a white and an amber, and basically the software uses these two-tone flashes to determine what intensity of white to amber light to put out in the flash when you take a picture, and in turn it's supposed to give you a more lifelike and better picture. So comparing it to the iPhone 5 or 5C camera, you can see that the flash on the iPhone 5 and 5C basically is just a regular one flash, so it's the regular flash, and then on the iPhone 5S you've got the dual flash. So I haven't really noticed much in terms of differences with my photos, although I haven't really studied them that much to see a difference, but that's there. And when you do set the flash to on, you'll be able to see a flash. So we'll go ahead, I've set it to on. We'll take a picture here of the helicopter once again, and you can see it does light up in the background. But usually I have it set to auto. If you don't want the flash to be on at all, you can set it to off. Now, a feature that was available in iOS 6 looks to be gone with iOS 7 was the actual grid feature, and it's not gone, it's just in the settings application now, so you have to actually go out of your camera app, go into settings here, and then you want to go down to where it says photos and camera. And in this section here, you can see if we scroll down, you've got a couple of things you can use, but we'll focus on grid. So if we turn the grid on and then we go back to our camera app here, you'll see that we now have a grid. So it'll be easier to keep your pictures straight. If you're kind of off a lot, you can keep them straight just by using the lines on the grid, or focus things centered in that middle part of the grid. Again, same thing, you just tap to focus and then take your picture. It has no effect on your photo once you've taken the picture, but it does give you a way to sort of stabilize your photos a little bit, or at least keep them centered if that's what you're trying to do. Now at the top of the camera app, you'll see HDR. If you set that to on, that's basically your high dynamic range. And what this is going to do is blend the parts of 3 different exposures to a single photo, and you can play around with that if that's what you want to use. I usually keep mine off. I don't really use it too much, but it is nice that it's there and you can use it if you need it. Another feature that you might find interesting is the burst mode feature, and what this allows you to do is take multiple pictures really quickly, and this is great if you're actually watching like an action shot, so like a soccer game or something where you're catching motion. Having that feature will allow you to take multiple pictures. So we'll go ahead and do this. I'm just going to move around like this sort of as I'm doing it, and it would allow you to pick out the best pictures. So let's go ahead and do that. You hold on this button here, the picture button, and then you just go ahead and take your picture. So we'll do that. You can see it's taking a lot of pictures. So we went ahead and took about 23 pictures. And if we go into the section here to actually see the photo and you tap on favorites, you can actually go through each one of the features, and you can see it's blurred in some because I was moving, but it does give you those action shots, or give you the ability to see those action shots. This would be particularly good in a sporting event, or if somebody was doing something really cool, just to have that many shots of the action. And then you can just sort of pick out the ones you want. And what's good is that you don't have to individually delete them all. You can actually delete each bundle of pictures that you took. So I can delete all 23 at once if I want, which is nice to see that they put that in. Lastly, we have the front-facing camera, and you just tap at the top right. Now you can see me from the front-facing camera. The quality's not as good. This is a 720p camera, I believe, and you can pretty much access all the features. The photo, you can do the square photo. You can't access panoramic, unfortunately, so we'll go back. Just bring it back here, and you can't access the slow-mo camera. Those two are specific to the rear-facing camera, which is understandable because you don't need to be taking those kind of pictures with the front when you have the rear. So everything is the same. Tap to focus. You can't zoom in by pinching. That's one thing you need to keep in mind as well. Editing is just the same. Just open up the photo there, and then you can edit it just as you would if it was a rear-facing camera photo. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, remember to hit that like button. It's so easy to do and it helps me out a lot. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I got a lot more content coming up on the iPhone, as well as tons of tutorials and awesome tech videos on other devices as well. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box down below, but just keep in mind, I can only respond if you have a Google Plus account and you've enabled me to be able to respond to you. So add me to your circles or whatever you have to do. YouTube has made some changes. It's kind of annoying, but that's the only way I can respond to you on YouTube. Otherwise, send me a tweet at my Twitter account. The information is right there. You can check that out. I'm easily accessible on Twitter, so really that's the best way if you want a quick response to any question. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next one.